Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Uh-huh. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Your favorite podcast is Critical Plus.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 9th and 10th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish. They're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
And I'm Scott Wakefield, host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham, where we talk about comic books and all kinds of great storytelling, sometimes with incredible guests. And we want you to join us Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Silverline's Silver Sunday this Sunday night, August the 6th. I am your host, Roland Mann. I am joined this evening with my usual cohorts, Roberta Conroy. Roby, say hi to everybody.
Hello. Hi.
And Thomas Floramonti, all-around comics maker. Say hi, Thomas.
What's up? If I can get my everything set up.
How are y'all doing this evening?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's good. Pretty
Hot
good
day,
is good.
I'm indoors.
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
I know. I am at my daughter's tonight on our way back towards Florida. And
Are you on her porch again, like you were last
No,
time?
well, you know what? She brought that up. She said, last time you did it, from my porch. I said,
That's right.
yeah, but it's like 91 degrees out there tonight. I'm like, so I'm not
The
sure.
only place that she'd let you work.
Yeah. So I may have to. Y'all let me know because I can hear them, but I've got the background filter turned on. But if they get loud, y'all tell me so I can go hush up over there.
Yeah, tell them to be quiet.
So I find myself in Tennessee tonight on my way back towards Florida. So
That's good.
yeah, it's good to spend some time. She cooked for us tonight. She cooked some chicken. It was really good. So and she also supplied me with
Oh,
Coca-Cola.
okay.
Yep. So we're in good.
tonight. So I'm going to try to share my screen. I may have to ask one of you to do it because I tried it while the thing was going, and then it gave me some error thing, and I'm like, I don't want to do this while the countdown is going. But I am going to try to share select the window or screen. Okay, I'm going to try to share. See, it's wanting to share this. Hold on, let me see if that's what it should. Yeah, see, look, it's only share. Whoa,
Infinity.
Yeah. So I want to try to share.
That's why
I've got another
mad at
tab.
Marvel and DC right now.
I've got another tab, and I want to share this Kickstarter sign up.
Well, you got to switch to your web screen. You have to jump to another screen because it's just showing the screen.
Yeah, don't show your whole. Don't show your.
Yeah, so
whole
share your
screen.
desktop
window.
and switch your browser to the other.
So let me see if I can actually take this tab out.
Or just take the tab out. That works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
start make it into another.
Hold on.
Instance.
Now it's not letting me.
I love how we always have 10 minutes of
technical. See, now it's wanting me to block. I don't want to block. Allow. Okay, well, I'm gonna add it. Same thing.
There you go.
Stop sharing. Okay, so one more try, and if I don't get it right, I'm just gonna count on the little thing down there for you guys to go sign up.
What is it called again? I forgot.
Silverline Comics Crowdfunder.com.
Oops. Wait a minute.
Let me see. I'm gonna try it one more time. Look, Pops is jumping in here. Oh, look, I think I got it. Yes. I'm gonna put Pops in here too. All right, there it is. All right, so
okay, I was just gonna pop in and help. You got it. You're good.
I appreciate it. So here we go. Silverline Comics Crowdfunder.com will get you to this page. You guys, look, we got 31 followers so far. Guys, we launch on Tuesday. Wow. So if you want to be notified that we go live, Tuesday, you got to, and actually, I will tell you this, nobody, Roberta doesn't know this, Tommy doesn't know this. There's only one other person that knows this. I'm going to do something a little bit special at the launch that we haven't done before.
Okay. The twerk video that you've been saying that you're going to do?
I got your twerk video, yes. But it's going to be a fun little offer that we haven't done before, and I've seen some other people doing it, and so I'm going to try to do it this time to kind of see how it goes. Well, I don't know. We'll try it out and see how it works. I'll give you let's see. Pops says drop the link, or it's right below you right there, Pops. And Vic says you got to click on the new tab. Roland Mann blooper reel. Ha ha ha. You need a producer, Roland. Okay, you guys are being funny. Probably wouldn't hurt.
We did have a producer.
We did have one, yeah. Vic says we're in Tennessee. I'm actually in Nashville right now, Vic. I don't know where Sneedville is. Vic says I haven't done a page today. I just do bad out of the groove with school starting. Just got out of the groove.
He's probably
that's not English, so I'm not really sure.
Maybe he should work on his English class.
Maybe he should. Pop said, "Did Roland beard gets whiter over the move?" It may have. Pop
probably
move was tough. I know that my hands still have not quite recovered, but that's another thing. Pop says I'm going backwards for our comments. Pop says, "Hey yo."
Hello.
Vic says, "Buonasera, Silverliners." Let's see. Vic says, "Imagining Roland and Tommy doing that have scarred me for life."
Is that the twerking?
Oh yeah, that's got it. Thank you. I was sitting here going, "Wait a minute, what are we talking about here?" I gotta wrap. I gotta pause for a minute.
You gotta find that original video that started from.
I do need to find that. And I'll work on finding that. So, but yeah, so you guys look at that, 31 followers. Get over there if you haven't already. Click. It doesn't obligate you to anything. You're not obligated.
Just to be able to check us out.
Just be able to check us out. And the fact of the matter is, the more followers we have, just followers, the more followers we have, it's better for the Kickstarter algorithms. So you're not obligated to buy anything. You're not obligated to do anything.
But we
at
hope
all.
you do.
We hope
nice
you do.
if you
Yeah,
did, but-
absolutely.
yeah.
And we think you're going to love it, but you're not obligated to do that at all. But it will help us out. So let me do that. Okay. So as for the other Kickstarter, let's see what Pendulum and Obsoletes.
Right. How about that? Where are we?
I haven't checked in with my printer lately,
Well,
but I know that
I heard on
Tommy
Friday
updated us with
that
that.
he was working on it. Those guys were working on it on
Kablam
Friday.
was. Yeah, we love Kablam. Show us your hat, Tommy.
And
Show us your hat.
and the what? I don't
Show
know
us
what
your
you're
hat.
talking
Yeah,
The hat.
about. What hat?
there you go.
I don't know what you're talking about. But those guys were working on it, getting all the files queued up, and pretty much all but like 3 of the files weren't any good. We had problems. Yes, spit your Coke all over the place. There was errors all over the place, missing pages, logos that were in the wrong spot. There was none of the pages were they were all CMYK and messed up, and there was lots of work. So maybe Monday we'll get a little closer.
Okay, so we're gonna mute Tommy for just a minute. So he's exaggerating a little bit. There were some errors, but they weren't all messed up.
4 of the books couldn't be printed because they were missing a page. 5,
that's a problem.
3 of the books.
Totally my fault.
Yeah,
3
3 of the books couldn't be printed because they were missing a page.
Yeah.
One of the books, which was one that I did the cover on, the logo was like scooched way down.
And I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, so I wasn't printing them anyway on Friday. I was just going through them, getting them,
checking the files,
ready to print.
Yeah.
So they're queued up, as we like to call it.
So all of that
Some
has
help
been.
with that, Roland.
We should start jamming on it next week.
All of that has been.
I mean, those
corrected
guys
now.
should start jamming on it next week.
So new files have been sent. All of that has been corrected. Yeah. So the funny thing is, I didn't realize until, and I should have paid attention. I didn't realize that Pendulum was a little bit longer than what we normally do. Now Pendulum, for those of you who don't know, Pendulum is one of our remix titles, and it was published in black and white in the 90s, early 90s. And Roberta has done a beautiful job on color. You guys just
Thank you.
You just got to see it to believe it.
Also,
So
both of these Kickstarters are
colored by Roberta. Yes, they are. Both of them are. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So I just didn't realize, and when I was
26 pages.
Yes, that's it. It's 20. It wasn't 24 pages. It was 26
No,
pages.
26.
And so I'm going, oh my gosh, what have I got to do? And 24. I've done that before with Kablam, but I actually had to add some pages to
Put some
be
ads
printed. Yes. And so I'm like, okay, Kablam's going to do 28. 20. I can do 28. So I kind of got a little discombobulated on my page.
No, you could have turned the last page around sideways, so it's like poster.
That would have been interesting, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. The final image is pretty cool.
Yes, it is very cool. Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, though, it does end on a left side page, so we want to kind of keep that. But we got it all worked out. And the thing about it is, I went through and looked at Pendulum, the other Pendulum issues, and they are also all.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah. So
you gave me a lot of work there.
Well, I knew that there were 24 pages, and I think Roberta, I may have even told you when I reached out to you about this, or when we talked about this. I think, but not in my defense, I did give you the black and white and say, here it is.
You did.
But I think when I told you, I think when I told you, I said, hey, they're 24 pages, but I didn't even look. So
that's what I thought it was.
You should have just trimmed out some stuff, Roberta.
But Tommy, I was
there's
telling
nothing that you can trim out.
Yeah, no, you can always trim some.
So I think I was telling you, Tommy, I was looking at another book too. And what book did I tell you I was looking at? I can't remember now. I was telling you I was looking at another book from
the Barbarian book. Doesn't that have an extra page?
Cray. Yeah, Cray has an extra page. Not only that, Cray has
a double page
spread
spread
on the wrong pages. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Vic says, listen, I'm tired. I have an excuse for not speaking English. You should, but you don't have to. He's talking about the video there. Got to blame Roland for this one. Not even my usual blame him for everything as a joke. It's just his fault. It is. It is my fault. And I'll take the blame. But it's all fixed now. It's all fixed.
You
now.
got Kablam to keep you in line. So.
That's right. They're good people over there. Dave says hi all. What's up, Dave? Vic says Pendulum was one of those strange books in the late 1900s.
That's right.
1990s.
No, late 1900s.
Yeah.
Next time that happens, just get me to do a pinup. There you go, Vic.
That's right.
Yeah. So
pinups.
we got it all worked out. So hopefully, and you guys, all of you who backed, we'll make sure that we send you an update so you'll know what's going on. Tonight,
it's not late or anything. So I don't.
No, it's not late at all. We got what's today, the 6th. We still got 20 something days before it's even close to being late. So no, we're in great shape.
We'll get working on it this week.
Yeah, I don't have any concerns about this one being late. All right, so tonight's topic. I know that you guys are probably going, what are we talking about, Roland?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
And I know
I'm
Vic
curious.
was one of Vic's early comments here. Vic said, I have no idea what this is meant to be. And I think he's got to be talking about the topic. And so our topic, I know that Roberta and Tommy saw the little graphic that BJ made, right? Y'all see that? Yeah.
Yep.
And so tonight we're calling this alternate creator histories. Okay, so let me set this up for you guys. So I love, I know Roberta reads a lot of science fiction as well. I love alternate histories, right? Alternate histories, for those who don't know, alternate histories are works of fiction and where the writer takes some point in time of history and then they say, okay, well, this is instead of this happened, right? So for instance, there was a really good one I read called The Two Georges, and it took the point of view that the United States was not successful in the American Revolution. And so the entire North American continent was still part of a British colony, right? So that's alternate history. Comics like to do it, right? When we do comic books, we call them what if.
What if?
Yeah. What if Spider-Man had joined the Fantastic Four, right? And then the writer, if you're a reader of what ifs, you already know. But if you haven't read any what ifs, what happens? The writer says, "Hey, look, this happened in an Avengers comic book, but what if Spider-Man hadn't left and that he had joined the Fantastic Four?" And so then the whole story is built off of that concept. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about alternate creator histories. What if Roland, Roberta, and Tommy had not gone into comics?
Oh wow!
What if we hadn't become comic creators? What are some of the things we might be doing?
I mean, at that door, if I would have, after walking through the door, if I would have made a left instead of the right.
Yeah. That's what we're going to. You know what, Vic? I agree. Vic says sounds like Pete would love that alternate history. About the UK. Yeah. Well, we're hoping Pete might show up and give us his version.
I spoke to him earlier. He said he was exhausted.
Is he baby exhausted?
Yeah, he says that they've been way tired the past month and they've not had any free time.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's a sweetie, and he's been posting some nice pictures lately, and she will eventually get to where she sleeps through the night. It will happen.
Yeah, it just takes a long time.
It does. It takes a while. So while you guys think, since I didn't prep you, I didn't set you up for this.
No.
I kind of figured that's what it was. I could just say what would have happened if
You want to go first then?
Well, yeah, because I already know what would have happened.
Go ahead.
No, when if I wouldn't have see, I always read comics when I was younger, but that didn't mean that I was going to create comics. So
no, because lots of people read comics and don't make them.
Yeah, but if I wouldn't have met you guys, you, Stephen, and Mitch in college, then and seeing that y'all were able to break into comics and put that little bug in my behind, and I'm like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. This is nuts. So literally, if I was like a year later getting to school, say I was a year younger and y'all were already gone, and I came and I didn't meet y'all, my whole goal was, and I still love doing it now. And my whole thing was, I've mentioned on the show many a time that I can't play video games because I love them too much.
Yeah.
And so my childhood was playing, games, the old Atari games, computer games, programming. I learned how to program in machine language when I was like 13, 14 years old.
Wow.
I taught myself how to, and so I was a coder. I think logically like that. I don't know why I can draw, but that's my logic. So that's what I was going to college for.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I fully intended to, I took all of my senior level classes in the third year of college. I was already taking all of the computer classes.
Right.
I hated all the rest of them.
Makes sense.
But I already knew all the stuff that they were teaching to get, a bachelor's already. The first 2 years of school, I was already done with those classes and was taking more advanced classes than what but they saw, I was making A's, so they didn't care.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, taking, 3 or 4 computer classes at one time when you're not supposed to, and skipping all the rest is when I started doing all the rest of the stuff, is when my grades started doing bad because I didn't care anything. So I would have been better if I had gone to a technical school rather than to just
because you were skipping
I could have got certified, got a certification in rather than go and get a degree kind of a thing.
So it was the core classes that you were having problems with, right? Like the English, the history,
the biology. I just didn't care about them.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
I just didn't care.
That is a problem. Yeah.
That made it a problem that I didn't care. And then we started playing games and stuff too much, and then I was starting to get into comics a little more, and then seeing you guys and
distracting it is.
My alternate reality, which there's no reason why it couldn't happen now, is programming.
So let's speculate it out though. Let me get
I would have created Chat GPT and all that kind of stuff. When I see all of
I was reading Oven says, "Hello, Silverline family.
Howdy
What's up,
do.
Oven?" So if you hadn't met us then, right, at Southern Mississippi, do you think you would have stayed in school and finished, right?
Right. Well, I've got more credits than I needed to have already graduated. I just didn't have enough credits in the right things to have graduated. So I technically don't have my what is it, the
diploma?
The diploma, right?
Yeah.
But I've got like 15 more hours than what I needed to have graduated. I just didn't have them in the right classes because
Did you ever
I
talk
took
to?
so many. No, because you got to have all your core stuff, and I didn't have all the core stuff.
I don't want to know history, biology. Who cares?
So I needed some more of that stuff to be able to graduate. And so when it started doing all that, I just started getting super bored.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about going to USM is that at that point in time, their computer science department was huge.
Yes.
And there was a lot of recruiting going on.
Yeah.
And I had been recruited and stuff, and people had been talking to me, and the teachers were talking me up already, saying, "This is the guy. Look at this guy can do all this stuff already." And then I was like, "No, I'm going to draw comic books like a moron."
That's what I want to do.
So let's take one of them though. Talk about maybe if you could remember one or two of of the people you talk to.
Well, I
'cause,
wanted to do game stuff, but there was the some of the bigger companies were like Bell South and all those telecommunication places. So you'd get a lot of that core stuff, but it wouldn't have taken too long to get to some of that stuff. And I really like networking stuff, which really aggravates me when I see my computer not working right. So, but yeah.
So you might have ended up at AT&T or something like that.
Well, what's the cool thing about it, looking back, is that it was right at that time that all the web stuff started. So I would have easily been able to jump over and do web design. Well, I mean, I do it now.
Yeah.
But I would have been able to jump over to wherever, whatever. Who knows? We work for Google and all them guys. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
you might have, and we have some friends from our college days that went on to do work for Google and some of those other places.
But I do have my doctorate in I'm a brain surgeon too, but I stopped doing that to also do computer stuff.
So you might have ended up at one of those places like that doing coding.
Oh yeah, well no, for sure. Or start my own.
You might have been palling around with. It was a little bit later than Bill Gates, but you might have been palling around with. You might have been working for Bill Gates even.
Who knows? There was. Well,
Bill
because
Gates
USM was so close to New Orleans, and there was so many big places in New Orleans that you could get, a lot of the companies. It was something would have turned out.
Bill Gates was about a decade in front of us, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they were recruiting everywhere.
Definitely.
They came to USM. All those big companies like that, IBM and all the folks. They were lots of smaller folks.
Did we ever have any computer classes together?
I don't think.
I don't remember.
So. I was already above your class.
You probably were. No kidding. You probably were, because I struggled with the ones that took math. The ones that didn't require math, RPG.
I was the dude that they would come to. Some afterwards they would. Can you write my love for? They would come to you. I don't know how much. Probably we'll talk like this. Because they can't read. I don't know how many programs I wrote for other people. I wrote some software that would take code and then change it up to make it look like it read differently, so that way other people could use the same code over.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I've already been a bad hacker. Who knows?
That's funny. Well, so did you ever do any? And I don't mean like really nasty stuff, but did you ever do any kind of hacking?
Nah. There's a few times where you got,
see, I did a little bit, but it wasn't. I wasn't like breaking into banks or anything like that. It was like I got. You
remember at USM they had the big what was the computer lab that they had there? That they had all of the I guess it was the Tandy computers and stuff, but then they had the big mainframe computer.
I do,
stuff.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out how to backwards go into it so you could see everybody's accounts.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it was obvious to me, and I showed some of the. You remember Frank, the big guy, Frank?
Schiavo?
Yeah. He was a. I remember one day he was he was one of the people that sat at the front desk thing that would let you sign you in or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Frank, come look at this. And he came over and I started doing something. Well, I got on even another story, but I've said, here, watch Frank. And I was showing him some stuff and he says, why? And then I typed in some stuff and it backed up. And then it backed up further. And then I backed up into the thing. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, watch this. And I went even further back. And then I went into his account and I'm like, I can delete all your stuff. And he's like, how did you do that? And I'm like,
oh no.
because it's wide open. You guys, this is, and wasn't even breaking into anything. It's like nobody thought to do this type of stuff.
Vic says that's amazing and horrible at the same time.
Yeah,
It is scary to me.
Yeah. But,
well, I honestly believe, and Tommy, you tell me what you think. I honestly believe that cybersecurity is probably going to be one of the biggest continually growing fields.
Oh, it is. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what was your other story?
Yeah.
No. That same room that we were talking about, where I was saying Frank and they had all of that big mainframe computer thing up in there. When Mom was in getting our master's degree, so I was 14, 15. I used to sneak into that lab. I don't know how they let me in there, but when she was going to school getting her thing, so I was in the 10th grade, 9th grade, whatever it was. I would sneak into there and I would sign in to a computer and go sit down and start. And that's where I started learning the code and stuff.
Wow.
Because I wanted to get on those machines.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Carrie says, "Hey, hello, what's up, Carrie?
What's up?"
Glad
But something
Hello.
computer, something, probably my own thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
But, but
Well, and you know,
I'm not upset or anything.
Sure, no. This is not about being upset or regrets or anything. It's just, what if?
I just wonder.
Yeah, so you could have actually been
I
on
would
the.
have started something.
You could have been on the forefront of digital comics.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
my saying for me has always been that I'm not an artist. I'm a con artist. You've heard me say this over and over and over again. I don't know how to draw, but I can fake it enough that you think I can draw. So I've always had the ability to be able to look at something.
You learned how to draw.
I've got this. Well, I got this from my dad. To be able to look at something and study it long enough, except for maybe English and spelling and history, because I didn't care. But look at something long enough and study it for enough to make it so that I could end up doing it. And so I think it's the creative part. I'm more creative, and that just works with everything rather than one specific thing. Like I like putting together. I'm the guy that you call when you get all your Christmas stuff and you need somebody to come put all of the toys in the bookshelves and all that kind of stuff together. My mind just likes looking at all of that IKEA furniture and going, "This is so cool. I want to put all this together." Yeah, this creativeness of putting all that. I can visualize how
it
works, and then
that's very cool.
So it's the same way with the comic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Vic says all artists are con artists by that standard.
I think so.
That's probably true. Oh, crazy.
That's good. That's a good one. Yeah. I can see now Floramonte
Industries.
Yeah, Floramonte Industries. Yeah.
Read
my comics using the Floramonte app.
I made a game when I was in high school that was I don't know if they published it. You remember they used to have the magazines that had where they had the code in the magazines and you would have to type in all the code. Yeah. And so I made a game called, my middle name is Salvatore. So I made a top.
Wait, what? Stop the presses. What?
Salvatore.
That's your middle name?
Yes.
How did I never know that?
You've been friends a long time to hide that from me.
What? Floramonte Jr. Look, I'm saying all this on there so everybody can start.
How? I've known you for how long, and how have I never heard that?
That's hilarious.
But so I made a haunted house game called Salvatore Mansion, which the people I think I got like $100. They sent me. They were going to publish it in one of those thing. I don't remember what happened to that.
Wow.
I have the code on a disc downstairs in my garage. I should go get it out and see if I can figure out how to print it out.
You should. Vic says, imagine Tommy buying Twitter instead of Elon.
I know.
Yeah. I kicked out a bunch of folks.
Instead of a blue check mark, we'd all be getting a Spider-Man web.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. That's very cool. And I gotta admit that's not super surprising to think of that, you know.
No, because I still do all that coding stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever it comes to something at the office, like I mean, even it's messed up, and we really hadn't spent the time on fixing it, which we really should. But all the Kablam side is my custom code.
Yeah.
As bad as it is, it's still my code, and
well, it works.
We just don't have time to fix it up and stuff. But that's all custom.
Well, and that's keeping up with that is almost a full-time job, I would think.
Yeah,
I mean, you're just keeping that site.
Well, Barry and I, we have a notebook like this thick of things that we need to do to the site, and we just don't have time to.
And then right beside that is things that you want to do.
Yeah.
All right. So, Roberta, what about you? What kind of alternate?
It's so hard to wonder. You know, there's some.
He was going to be an exotic dancer.
No, I would not have done that.
You were in art, though, right? You were
I was studying at university for graphic design and illustration.
So
I didn't know. I had wanted to do animation. That's not where I ended up. Is a school that did not do that. So the best thing I could do is take. They had animation classes, so I took that.
So you did take some animation. So you know how to do some animation.
What I realized is I would be better as like a background painter than a character artist, because I'm so that's what kind of tempered my idea of doing any comics. Is I was so slow at it. Like my figure drawing is just very, I don't know. It's thoughtful, but it's just not the quick pace that you would need to have.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I really couldn't do that. So what could I do that'd be fun? Because, I was basically thinking, coming out of school, I would do like advertising, illustrations, and that sort of thing. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't drop the 3D idea. So I got an internship in modern video film, a post house nearby in Burbank, and I worked there. And I quit it to join Malibu because those people were like, I don't know, 70-hour weeks. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
I thought about it, like, this will make me happy.
Right. Yeah. 70-hour weeks I don't care who you are. 70-hour weeks.
It was
terrible.
That's not all the time or anything, but I'm just saying that is standard, to churn through people. And I was
especially like, the crunch time at the end of a project, everybody's, you never leave, right?
But, it's a what if, because like, had I continued with that, I would have. I had not pushed too hard, and it, one of those things that kills me that I said I wasn't going to pursue it, is I did a couple sprite designs for id Software for Doom 1.
Really?
I don't know what happened exactly. We just kind of they put some of it, I guess they were just contracting artists randomly. I could have pushed a little harder for that, and that would have been one hell of a different direction.
No kidding. So you could have ended up being super deep into
game design.
Yeah.
So that is something that interested me too. So
you might.
I wish I could have done a little bit more thoughtful, speculating on where to go, because that could have been interesting, and not at all regretful for everything that happened with Malibu. Has changed me, in terms of what's,
again. This is not about regret or anything. This is this is just.
But you wonder,
what if,
like, what if, because I don't think I would have enjoyed doing, illustrations for advertising all that much. I would have gone there.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm sure some, but I know people who artists who work in advertising as illustrators and designers and that kind of thing, and almost every single one of them, to a T, do something else outside of that for that they want to do. That's their love. It's like, well, I don't really
passion
love
projects.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like, well, I don't really love designing magazine ads, but that's what my firm does. And so that's what I do. But I do
Mhm.
this over here.
Mhm.
It's something creative,
Yeah, so you gotta have something that fulfills you,
Yeah. Yeah.
because generally it's hard to find that mix in your day job. It is hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
you could be
it-
lucky too. I've walked that line of being interested enough in doing magazine publishing that it's fun enough
Yeah.
that I'm not like sapped of creative sadness
Yeah.
that I'm missing out.
yeah.
But maybe I should have, because had I been a little more missing that, I would have done more personal art instead
Yeah.
of spending all my time on magazines.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
and that's one of those fun things to speculate, right? Well, what would have happened had I done this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why comics comes back in the mix, because that's what
right.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have any other thing as a young Roberta that you wish you had done, like ballerina dancer or a nurse or a doctor or that kind of thing?
Nah.
Nah.
No, not really. I like special effects since I was a kid.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do something in special effects. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
Movie magic.
you guys have heard me say this, over and over again. For me, I want Silverline to be fun. I want what we're doing. Yes, of course. I want, hundreds of thousands of people to buy them so that we can generate money. Absolutely, without a doubt, I want that. But most important to me is I want us to be having fun. The minute Tommy says, dude, I'm not having fun doing this anymore, then, Tommy needs to do something else,
Yeah.
Bye.
No, come on.
Oh, I'm back.
Come back, Tommy. But it's fun because we realize, that we make good teams, and
Yes.
you guys get us together as an art group, and it just really works.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what, of course, Tommy and I talk about this quite a bit together. We get to make comics with people that we like.
Mhm.
And it's not like if we were to go get hired to let's just say, if we were to go get hired today by Marvel, we wouldn't necessarily know the people that we're working with, and we might not like them,
We
But
might not interact with them either, because
Right.
it tends to be very isolating. So
you might not even talk to them.
Yeah.
You
might just
so
send it in, the
Phone it-
internet
Put it in.
and hope they like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Dave says, this is my fun stuff. Definitely different than my day job. Dave,
Mhm.
I'm stoked
Good.
to hear that it's your fun stuff, and you guys are gonna really love to. I know he's been showing some of it on the Tuesday stream. You guys are gonna really like to see what Dave
Cool.
has been doing with the Demon's Tales,
I
the first
do.
volume. Yeah. So, and Vic says, I should have buckled down and started rapping.
All right.
You need to
It's
talk
another
to
day.
You can still do it.
You still can do it, Vic. You're young. You never know.
Mhm.
Give it a shot. Don't quit your day job. Is what a lot of people say, right? But work your day job and give it a shot. He also said, when I start doing stuff here, don't let Tommy ink me. I can't stand that guy. I'm kidding. I love Tommy. We all love Tommy. Oh yeah, excellent. Woo. Hold on, Tommy. Let me blow this up. There we go.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
That
get it
is-
scanned in tomorrow.
Very cool.
Kalis,
Rob Davis pencils. Yep. And this is for
So this
Kalis.
will be available on the Kickstarter.
Yes, it will be available. That
Okay.
and both the pencils and the inks will be available. Vic says that's sick, Tommy.
Yeah, sick word. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dave says keep Tommy away from the Zipatone.
Oh,
that's funny.
David,
Yep.
you got to remember what you're working on was from the 1990s.
I'm telling you.
Zip-a-tone was all the
That
rage.
was the thing, and it was a black
That
and white
was
book. You had
common.
to do it.
That's right. It was a
part
black.
of the job.
It was a black and white book, and so it was time.
I would have been yelled at if I didn't put some tone in there.
Yes, yeah, because I would have been said, dude, why is it there's big hunks here? Dave says, he says, I know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, Roberta, do you think you'd have still been? I didn't ask this, Tommy. You think you'd have still been in Southern California where you are now, or you think you might have been somewhere else?
No, there's too much in Burbank for me.
Yeah,
I thought.
yeah,
I think at least the opportunity-wise, it was there at the time.
right. Yeah, Tommy, you still think you'd be where you are? Or you think you might be geographically somewhere different?
Who knows? Who? There's no telling.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't. Yeah. When we moved down here from Mississippi for a different reason, so we're about 8 hours away drive back to Mississippi. We're from Orlando, but yeah, but you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Would Renee and I still have gotten married? Well, at that point, we were both in college together, so yeah, we probably still. So I would have.
Yeah,
assumed that would still.
Because a little known fact is you and Renee are high school sweethearts, right?
Yes.
That's
yes.
so
And we've
sweet.
been, dating since we're 15.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
a couple of times, a couple of times she was bad. You can't hear me.
She's not listening.
No.
She's not listening.
I would guess that we would still have been married.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get married right out of, supposedly college, when
Right.
we would have finished. We did 2 or 3 years before we got married. So we were 22, 23, 20
Yeah.
somewhere. So, but would we
you
still,
married
would
in
we have
91?
ended up down here? Who knows? Do I?
Did you married in 90 or 91?
90.
90, okay.
Yeah.
What month?
May. Don't make me mess up.
So I've only been married a month longer than you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Anything else, Roberta?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
I
other than
think
just,
Roberta's
painting. I might have painted just
Paint,
for
yeah.
myself a little more.
Yeah.
I think Roberta would have been a
would've-
race car driver. I think that's what she would have.
Yeah, if I had nerves of steel, I might.
Wait,
It's
she's in
pretty
L.
cool.
Wait, Tommy, she lives in LA. They don't go over like 10 miles an hour on those highways.
They don't do that in the highways.
That's right. She didn't want to move from over there, so she would
You
have.
don't use the highway.
No.
Right.
What would you have done, Mr. Roland?
I was gonna say, so you guys are probably gonna laugh at me here, but in my high school years and in my early college years, I was very, very big into music and played the drums.
I remember that.
I was in a band. In fact, when I moved out to California, I sang with the guys. Now I don't consider myself a singer, but Chris Olm was already the drummer. And so, but I wanted to be, I wanted to do this with the guys. And so I'm like, well, I can sing. I have the ability to sing. They were singing songs that I'm like, I don't think I can sing that song. But so I kind of look at, because right before I went to Southern, I bought me a new drum set and I went into the studio and recorded music in the studio.
Cool.
Yeah. I found a cassette tape that has a song on it. I'm going to try to get it digitized. I don't know how to do a cassette tape, but I'm going to try to get it digitized. It's not my song, but I am going to try to get it digitized and so that I can put
That'd
it
be
up on it.
fun.
Yeah. I played drums and I sang backup. So
I keep threatening Renee that I was going to get a digital drum set and play. I was also a percussionist in high school. I played everything, but
yeah.
She said, "No, you're not."
Well, dude, you can get electronic drums
that are
cheap,
good,
and they don't have.
I'm looking them up. Actually, I
don't
told
have
you I was talking to your son about that just the other day.
They don't have a big footprint either. As
No,
far as
they're tiny things.
And you can put when you jack them in, you can play them. They sound so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you never know. Behind me, there may be a drum set coming.
That's true.
Yeah.
Tommy would have been a
That's funny.
cyborg. Roberta would have been a race car driver, and Roland would be a football player. Says Vic.
Awesome.
Vic
Right
says,
on.
Roland, I need to hear it.
I
Yeah.
remember in college, you used to like to do. You always tried to get me involved with doing your sports stuff that you
Yes.
did. And I would. Okay, I remember once or twice I went to the beginning class to things, and then I kind of just quit going.
Well, we used to do. We'd get a bunch of people together, and this was on probably still on the Commodore 64. We would put together an entire season. Everyone would have a team.
Yeah.
Right. And then we would have
flag football. I remember.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I actually coached BJ. I coached a girls softball team in college, intramural, but I coached her and a bunch of her dorm. My dog. My daughter's in the other.
What's up?
I love you too, sweetheart.
Hello.
Go to be quiet.
But yeah, I mean, it's possible because I really enjoyed coaching, but I wasn't really on a track to coach, you know. It's not something that I had really studied for, and I didn't really, to be honest with you, I couldn't even probably have a thought of that as a goal way back then. I may have to extrapolate that out sometime about coaching, but because I coached both my kids and Brittany for 6 years and Brett for 5 in Little League ball, which I had a blast with. But I coached. I forgot, Tommy. I coached some intramural sports there at Southern.
And I quit going.
Yeah.
After a practice or two, it's like, I'm not doing this. I got other stuff to do.
Yeah, I gotta draw comic books. I gotta break into the USM mainframe.
That's right. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I gotta study stupid history. I ain't got time to be running around.
Yeah. So I think I think for me, I might have been in because a lot of the musicians that I know from high school ended up working construction.
Yeah.
And they would work construction, and then they play in bar bands all around the town. I still know some of the folks I went to high school with who played guitars and drums and were in bands. Many of them ended up in construction, and that's what they would do. They would work their construction job to pay their bills, and then they would play their guitars and be in a band at night. So it's possible that had that been my path, I would have ended up in construction.
Well, what was I met y'all in, if that was your path, you would have ended up in construction or working on an oil derrick or something like that.
No, you never know.
When I met you guys at USM, what was your major at that point?
So my major at that point,
because I know you took computer classes,
So when you and I first met, so I took 2.5 years of computer science at Hines Junior College.
Okay.
And then when I transferred down to Southern Miss, I took a semester off to work, and save up some money. And then I transferred down to Southern Mississippi, USM, which is where Tommy and I met. And I was in computer science, and I hated it. It was tough and too much math. And I changed. So that's when you and I met. I was in computer science. But then that very next semester, I changed to English because the USM had a very good creative writing program. It was in the top 10 creative writing. Yeah. I don't know if it's still there, but at the time, the creative writing program was top 10 in the USA. And so I transferred to the creative writing program and said, you know what? I have no idea what's going to happen. I just know this is what I want to do. And I want to try to do it. I actually didn't think that I would end up writing comic books. I knew that I wanted to. I thought I would end up probably writing, short stories and because back then we had Isaac Asimov's science fiction magazine, Analog. A lot of different magazines like that bought short stories. Yeah. And so I kind of thought, well, that may be where I go. I might sell my short stories there. and then work my way up into, to being a novelist and maybe, write for magazines and stuff like that. So
that could have been interesting.
Yeah. So, who knows? Maybe I would have been right there with Larry Niven during the Ultraverse. Maybe I would have been Larry Niven. Maybe Chris Ulm would have said, hey, we're going to form the Ultraverse. Let's get science fiction writer Roland Mann in here to consult.
Yeah.
Vic says, Roland, what's your creative writing program ranked? If you could say, of course. I mean, I could say if I could tell you, I really don't know what the Full Sail's creative writing program is ranked. The thing about it is, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, Vic. The thing about it is our writing program is different from traditional schools. Most traditional schools focus on prose, and Full Sail's creative writing program is all about entertainment writing. So we're talking about screenplays, video games, comic books. That is we don't even teach prose. That's not something we even really cover much. Even though we have several students who come through and say they want to write novels, we don't really address novels in our program. So yeah. I have one other turning point in my life that I look at. It's not really, and it's kind of a what if for me. And that's when Marvel fired everybody.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was the biggest question mark, wasn't it?
Yeah, when Marvel fired everybody, of course, so many of the people that I knew went on to do other things right there in California. But I left California and came back to Mississippi. I actually entered into the history program. I was studying to be a history professor. I wasn't going to have anything to do with writing at all. I had pretty much at that point in time said, okay, well, I did the comic books. So that was my love, right? I got to do that. It ended terribly, but I got to do comics. I'm not going to really go back in and try to do, this other stuff. So I was going for my master's degree in history so I could be a college history teacher. That's what I was going to do. And so I look at that, and of course there's that. And then of course, when BJ got hired, I stopped that. And that's when I went back to English. But I look at that and sometimes wonder, well, what if I had done like what my buddy Hank did? My buddy Hank, he basically pounded the pavement for another job, and he ended it up at DC, not DC Comics, but he was at their. All right, so I know what he did, but I can't remember the name of the company. He was their oh shoot, what do you call the person who has to approve everything?
The editor?
No. Let's say manufacturing. Make sure it's up to date.
Quality inspection.
Quality control. That's what he was. So what happened if you and I wanted to make a Superman blanket, we would make a Superman blanket and send it to Hank, and Hank would look at it and say, "Oh no, Superman's shorts are not pink. You can't do that, right?" Yeah. And then he would reject it, and then we'd have to fix it. So he was the quality control guy for DC Comics, and that's what ended up leading him into the different jobs. So I often wonder what would have happened to me had I stayed there and pounded the pavement and tried to find a position in Los Angeles.
Guarantee you would have had a lot of choices.
Yeah, but I moved and came back. Well, let's see here. All kind of little comics here.
As we said, no regrets.
No regrets. But it's one of those things like, what if? What if? Dave says, I want to know how Roland ended up doing stuff for Kamiko.
Freelance.
Freelance. I was basically
hire me to do something. Anybody, everybody.
Basically, at the time, I was like, "Hey, I'm a writer. I want some work." What I would do is when I would get a book published, publishers, although I understand not everybody does that, publishers supply creators with complimentary copies, right? A lot of times 5 copies, 10 copies, 20 copies. I've never really heard of much more than 20 copies. And someone told me that Marvel doesn't do more than 10 copies these days. I don't know that that's true, but anyway, I always got comp copies. And what I would do is I would take a comp copy and I would take a submission and I would send the editor a copy of my recently published comic book along with the pitch. And because Kamiko was doing the Elementals, I loved the Elementals. And so, and so I had sent in an Elementals pitch, and the guy responded, "I'm not going to buy your story, but what we're doing this, and you can write the Vortex story." And I was like,
Yay.
"Cool,
Sure.
yes, I'll do it, absolutely." And so I pitched Vortex that way.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's how I ended up doing stuff for Kamiko, Dave. What if Roland's
Good
novel had been a
story.
big hit? What would happen? If my novel had been a big hit, I'd probably have a little bit more money than I have. Sketchy guy in Nevada says God. When I said, I was saying, who knows? Wife, that's that's right. Rob Davis says, "Hey all, hold on, where's it?
Hey, Rob,
what's
here
up,
you go,
Rob?
Hi, Rob.
Nice of you to say. Oh yeah, Rob, hold on. If you're
No.
still there, look at this. Check it out, Rob. Woo-hoo. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Quality control. Yeah, sketchy. That's what. Sorry, Tommy. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of, and I just couldn't think of it. He had a title, big one, long DC title, and I can't remember what it was. What does this say? How did Roland do stuff for Kamiko? Regretfully, no. I'm glad, even though they still owe me, it's one of those no regrets. I got to work with Steven. Kevin Tuma actually drew one of the issues as well. I can't remember if that one got published or not. It was supposed to be a 4-issue miniseries, but they didn't all get published. And I can't remember if Kevin's stuff was published or not. I can't remember.
I think that's when it started falling apart, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's when they started doing all the sex specials and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
David said, "I love the early Elementals," and Vic says, "I'd love to have seen a Roland Mann Justice Machine story." I think Mike Gustovich still owns the Justice Machine, I think. And I'm still around. He's still around. So you just never know. Tommy, here we go. Rob said, yes.
Cool beans. I'll send you a copy as soon as I scan it tomorrow.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, let me see if I can't get in here to my calendar so I can tell you guys what's coming up the rest of the week. As if I should remind you that, we're launching a Kickstarter on Tuesday.
Great.
Let me get to my
When
calendar.
does it
Don't
launch?
forget.
What time?
Say again, Tommy.
What time does it launch?
Well, I'm planning to launch it at 8 a.m. I didn't know this. He said Mike doesn't, sadly. So Mike doesn't own Justice Machine. Vic, do you know who owns it? I don't know. Rob says, "Thanks, Tommy. Now to see how the colorist handles it." Woo-woo.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Who's coloring it?
Nice.
Not real sure yet.
You don't know.
I might have asked her, but
You got me busy.
She's busy. So
I got
you know what?
Champion
Dave,
Donut,
what do you
so-
do? Dave, you want to color a cover? Send me a message if you got time to color a cover. Dave. Dave. I'll get Dave. They're trying to be loud, I think. Can y'all hear
Yeah, I
them
hear him
laughing?
in there giggling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell
they're
them,
trying
tell them I said be quiet.
Tommy
Yeah.
said we ought to be quiet. Yeah. Yeah, they're just laughing now. Let me get to the calendar here. All right, so Tuesday, we're launching our Kickstarter. Tuesday, those guys are going to be talking about comedy and tragedy, how to set a tone in comics. The Greeks were onto something. Comedy and tragedy are two sides of the same coin and form the basis of most forms of media. A show on Tuesday discusses how to set tone in comics using the classic techniques. And then the Wednesday Whammers says, "So you want to host a comic book show?" This is where we're going to have a guest. Guest John Wells from the popular Midwest Quad Con shows gives us some insight on what it's like for him and his wife Kim to run a small local show.
Oh, I thought they meant like another streaming thing. They actually mean a show.
An
Okay.
actual show. Yeah, a con.
Cool.
So,
I have to
Yeah.
do a drive-by and listen to that one.
Yeah. Sounds like a giggle of girls at Roland's house. Yeah, that's my daughter, my wife, and my daughter's boyfriend. A giggle of girls.
A giggle of girls? Uh-oh. I hope you're not listening.
They can hear me, yeah.
Tell all those girls to be quiet.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what's got, and I'm not really sure what we're probably going to do. It's been several weeks since we've done a trivia, so we'll probably do a trivia because I haven't thought of anything else since I've been traveling. So we'll probably have some kind of trivia next week, you guys. But we'll be focused on the Kickstarter, which we need you guys, to go over. Brittany says apologies.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries.
Are they watching us? Is that what they're doing?
No, they're just so the way her apartment's built, there's a gap in I don't know what these things are called. They have a room and then there's another room, but then there's a gap at the ceiling. So I could throw paper wads over the over
it's like an office space?
A little bit.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but it's I think she's about to put in an
apartment. Is this? It's just like a big.
It's a Nashville apartment.
Hi.
Wait, why does your apartment not have walls that go all the way to the ceiling?
She can't. I'm going to unplug the headphones. Hang on. Repeat it.
Why does your apartment not have walls that go all the way to the ceiling? Is it one of those like low rent places?
Low rent, low walls.
Yeah. It's like a big flat.
They do it so they can call it a 1-bedroom.
Oh, so you just put a wall in. There wasn't supposed to be a wall there.
No, there's a wall there, but
it doesn't connect to the ceiling, so they can call it a 1-bedroom because there's a door to
because it's a gap.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on.
Room partition. Oh, well, I wasn't sure you wanted Steph Jones.
Oh yeah.
You could crawl over that.
It's just a hole in the wall.
Yeah, it is. It's just a hole.
What is that?
Yeah.
That is funny.
So
why would they have done that? Okay.
Apologies for the distraction.
No, it's all right.
I couldn't help.
Oh, you should go back and listen to what your dad said a while ago. He said, "Yeah, I wish all those girls in there would be quiet." Uh-oh. I'm in trouble now.
You're getting him in trouble.
All right. You guys got anything to say before we wrap it up? I already told everybody what's coming this week. Don't forget the Kickstarter, you guys. Everybody listen.
We'll start promoting it.
That's right. Anything, Roberta?
No, I'm good.
All right, Tommy, anything? Vic says hi, Brittany.
Hello, Vic.
Vic has never seen Brittany before, so this is a first hello for Vic.
Hello, Vic.
Vic knows everything about almost everything that we do. He knows probably more about Malibu than me, Roberta, and Tommy put together, probably. We were there, but he knows
no more than what I know.
Rob's Illinois. He says it's likely a legal thing, so they can charge less for a 1-bedroom, or it might be local. So, all right, you guys.
All right.
Hold on, let me cue it up here.
Thanks, everyone.
Until next time, remember to
make
mine Silverline.
Good night, everybody.
I'm Bill Black. I created FemForce. But you know what? Today, make mine Silverline.